Hello everyone, I'm Freaky. Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be reacting to your favourite Canadian YouTuber's video, my top 10 games of 2023. So if you guys haven't seen this video, please go watch that video first. Watch that, come back, watch this. So let's continue. I don't know what to say, but you know, I haven't played like every single game. In fact, I haven't actually like played any new games like for in the previous years. I mean yeah, there's like Yooka-Laylee. There's like all those games that I've been playing like on live streams. And there's like the mobile games I play. But other than that, I'm not really sure what to expect from your favorite Canadian YouTuber. So if you guys want to go and check out his video, which I recommend, please do. So yeah, let's get to the video. Oh, and one other thing, I really should have done this like with a video like somewhere around like at Christmas time, but I never really got around to doing it until now. So I do apologize for the long wait, Canadian YouTuber. So yeah, well, that's said and done. Let's get to watching. So this is your favorite Canadian YouTuber's video, my top 10 games of 2023, and 3, 2, 1, and go!
Hey guys, it's me, Andrew, again, your favorite Canadian YouTuber, and today I will be listing my top 10 games of 2023. Now, before anyone asks, unfortunately, I have not played Spider-Man 2 or Baldur's Gate 3, so therefore they won't be included on this list. I apologize if this upsets anyone, but if I haven't played it, I can't rank it. Sorry, Sage. Just wanted to address that before I begin the countdown. Number 10.
Okay, here we go.
Hellboy, Web of Word. Some of you may or may not know, I'm kind of a casual fan of the Hellboy series. When I first saw this game announced, boy was my interest piqued. This was one of my most anticipated games of the year, and it did not disappoint. The first thing you'll notice is that this game has a breathtaking 3D moving comic book style that, in my opinion, looks even more visually stunning than the Spider-Verse. In fact, this game was actually made in collaboration with Mike Mignola, the creator of the Hellboy comics, and it captures his signature style perfectly. Now, aside from how good the game looks, it's a pretty fun experience for the most part. The combat is a little slow, but in a way that actually feels comfortable and fitting for the big guy. Once you get into the flow of it and work your way up earning new weapons and upgrades, you'll be kicking arse in no time. Not to mention, being a roguelike, the levels are procedurally generated, so every time you enter the mysterious world of the Word, everything is always different. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that sort of thing, but I think it's a good way to keep things fresh as you progress. Now, I've actually never played a roguelike before, so this is kind of my first one. I've heard a lot of people saying this game is very easy and forgiving for a roguelike. If that's true, then oh boy, I imagine roguelikes must be hard as hell. No pun intended. I gotta say, that first boss was a real pain in the arse. Aside from that, if you're a fan of Hellboy or roguelikes, there's a good chance you'll enjoy this game. Oh, and not to mention, it's hard to talk about this game without mentioning Hellboy's voice actor, Lance Reddick, who really nailed the character and further added to the game's charm. It's sad that this was his final performance. Rest in peace, Lance. Rest in peace. Number 9. F-Zero 99.
Ooh,
it has literally been 20 years since Nintendo made a new F-Zero game. While this might not exactly be the big comeback F-Zero fans were hoping for, I still welcome it. Out of all the 99 player games Nintendo has put on NSO, this one is easily the best, as F-Zero 99 takes the basic high-speed racing formula of the classic F-Zero and makes it even more chaotically fun with 99 online players competing in a massive battle royale hovercraft race. This game is a must-play for anyone who owns a Nintendo Switch. In fact, the game is actually free if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. The only thing better than the game itself is the fact that this game got me into the F-Zero series and led me to playing just about every single game in the F-Zero franchise, including the original SNES, F-Zero X, GX, Climax, Maximum Velocity, GP Legend, and BS Grand Prix 1 and 2 for Satellaview. Thank God I bought all the F-Zero games on the Wii U eShop before it shut down. Not to mention, I even got a copy of the unofficial Lost F-Zero game known as Tube Slider. The only game I have not played is F-Zero AX, because it's only in the arcade, and sadly, there are no arcade units anywhere in all of Canada, and not to mention, I can't figure out how to emulate this game for the life of me. If anybody can help me with that, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, while F-Zero 99 is kind of just a social experiment to see if anyone still gives a crap about F-Zero enough to want a new game, it's still a fun one, and I really hope it succeeds in bringing F-Zero to a whole new generation and making the big popular comeback it deserves. Maybe we'll get a real new game someday, or at least a remaster of GX. That I'd be satisfied with.
GX? Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? No.
Number 8.
I'm joking.
Clive and Wrench. When it comes to retro throwback 3D platformers, this is one of the best ones I played. After seeing Square Eye Jack's review of this game, it was enough to convince me to buy it. In fact, I bought the collector's edition for PS5 and did an unboxing of it. The game is basically a love letter to classic old-school 3D platformers such as Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, etc. If you're a fan of those types of games, then you'll definitely enjoy Clive and Wrench. While this game certainly isn't perfect by any means, it's still very well made for what it is, especially considering it was a passion project made by only one person, and it's incredibly impressive what he was able to do here all by himself. Not to mention the developer Rob Wass spent 12 years making this game, and I'd say the finished project was well worth all the time and effort he put into this. Like I said earlier, this might be one of the best retro throwback games ever made in recent years. The game that it often gets compared to the most is Yooka-Laylee, as a lot of people have been saying Clive and Wrench is just as good if not better than Yooka-Laylee, and that's one heck of a statement, considering that Yooka-Laylee was actually made by the original developers of Banjo-Kazooie and was meant to replicate its signature style. So to single-handedly make a decent quality game comparable to something like that is one heck of an accomplishment. You've outdone yourself, Rob. Oh, and speaking of Yooka-Laylee, Trowser the Snake makes a cameo appearance in Clive and Wrench. I have no idea how or why, but I ain't complaining. Anyway, even if you didn't grow up with the old-school classic platformers I mentioned earlier, Clive and Wrench is still a genuinely fun game beyond just nostalgia bait. Great gameplay, a variety of wacky fun worlds to explore, and of course, the adorable characters are instantly memorable and fit right in with the other platform mascots we all know and love. Now, speaking of old-school classic mascot platformers...
Okay, here we go.
Number 7... Crash Team Rumble!
Woo!
That's right, Crash is back with an all-new game, and this time it's an online team battle multiplayer game. While the game structure is very different from the traditional Crash Bandicoot formula, but at the same time the gameplay feels surprisingly familiar to those who played any of the classic Crash games. I know a lot of people were pretty skeptical on how well this Crash Bandicoot online multiplayer concept would work, but I'd say both the beta and end results turned out surprisingly well. If you're a Crash fan, then there's a very good chance you'll enjoy this game. I know I did. The premise is simple. Collect as many Wumpa Fruits as you can and bring them back to your home base until you win, or you can be an a-hole and sabotage the other team to ruin their progress. Whatever strategy works for you. Not only that, but there's also a variety of other different game modes to try, and of course a decent roster of many beloved Crash characters to choose from. Not to mention, just recently, they added Spyro the Dragon to the game for Season 3, and boy is he quite a game changer. I remember playing the special event recently where I got to unlock Spyro early, and literally everybody was playing as Spyro. It was crazy. The only thing that would make this game even more awesome than it already is if they added a Skylander to Crash Team Rumble. I mean, the game was made by Toys for Bob, the same people who created Skylanders, and not to mention, since Microsoft's Activision acquisition, there's been talk about potentially bringing Skylanders back in some shape or form. So anything's possible. If I had to pick one Skylander worthy of being added to Crash Team Rumble's roster, I'd pick Stealth Elf without question. Oh, and maybe the main villain, Chaos, too. We've already got Spyro and Ripto in the game, so why not? Not to mention, with all the IPs Microsoft now owns, the guest star possibilities are endless. Out of all the online multiplayer games I've played this year, this is easily the second most fun one I've played. What would be the first, you may ask? Well... Number 6... Exoprimal. There's a good chance that a lot of you haven't heard of this game, as it kind of flew under a lot of people's radar. Probably because Capcom did a terrible job at advertising it, even worse than Ubisoft did with Starlink. Which is a real shame because this game is absolutely insanely fun to play. In fact, it's much better than the vast majority of overrated popular crap people are playing nowadays, including Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, Genshin, Valorant, etc. Exoprimal is the game that everybody should be playing instead. Honestly, it's sad just how abysmally small its player base is compared to the more overly popular games I mentioned, as it's stuck lying in those games' shadows. It's kind of similar to how Happy's Humble Burger Farm was completely overshadowed by FNAF Security Breach at launch, despite being objectively a much better game. Anyway, you might be wondering, what exactly is this game about and why is it so good? Well, it's very difficult to sum up in one sentence, but I'll try and oversimplify it as best as I possibly can. Exoprimal is kind of like Crisis meets Dino Crisis. It's Dino Crisis. Okay, that was a terrible way to sum it up, I'm sorry. This game actually has a lot of elements from other games it could be compared to, but blends many of them together in a way that feels surprisingly unique. Now, Exoprimal is pretty much the closest thing to a new Dino Crisis game that Capcom has given us in 20 years. I remember back when the game was first announced, everybody who saw the reveal trailer thought it was a new Dino Crisis game at first. Heck, it even has a cool redhead girl who looks a lot like Regina, whose name is Latin for queen, and Exoprimal's redhead is named Majesty. Yeah, you can tell what Capcom was doing there. Anyway, I won't go too in-depth into detail. Gameplay basically revolves around teams of elite soldiers in cool futuristic exosuits fighting against hordes of hundreds of dinosaurs. That's right, you heard me. If you think the premise is already ridiculous, just wait till you play the game. In terms of the online play experience, Exoprimal is a near perfectly seamless blend of PvP and PvE, and even connects it to the game's story in a surprisingly balanced way that I've never seen in any other game. By the way, Exoprimal is available on Game Pass, so to everyone watching who has an Xbox One or Series X and a Game Pass subscription, I highly recommend you download and play this game ASAP.
Yay.
Number 5, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Honestly, what can I say about this game that hasn't already been said? It's been a while since we've gotten a whole new 2D Mario game, aside from the new Super Mario series. From its fresh, beautiful art style to a wide roster of playable characters, to the all-new gameplay elements that make it even more unique and interesting. Wonder has just about everything you'd want in a Mario game and more, including both local and online multiplayer, with either friends or random online players, which makes the experience even more fun. Ever wondered what it'd be like to play Mario on drugs? Well, this game will give you a good idea of that kind of experience, to say the least. Man, imagine playing this game while on LSD. I'm not saying anybody should. You know what, let's just get to the next game. Number 4.
Naughty.
Samba de Amigo! Party Central! Now, I don't usually play a lot of rhythm games very often, but this one is certainly special. In fact, I think this might be one of the most fun rhythm games I've ever played. I remember playing the original Samba de Amigo on the Wii and having fun with it, but in my opinion, the new game blows the original out of the water, as it took the basic formula of the original, added a lot to it, and made it even better. I'll admit, the game's challenge is pretty forgiving compared to how demanding in precision the original game was, and I've heard some people say it's a little too easy compared to the original, but I'm not complaining. It does have a dang good variety in music. The original Samba de Amigo focused primarily on Latin American cultural music, while the new game has more of a party at the club theme. It definitely makes a great party game, that's for sure. In fact, I have very fond recent memories of playing this game with friends at my college social group, as well as a couple birthday parties earlier this year. Honestly, it's good to see Sega's mostly forgotten Maraca Shaken Monkey mascot make a comeback after 15 years of absence, and I hope the Samba de Amigo franchise continues to thrive in the future. Oh, by the way, if you plan on buying this game, I highly recommend investing in a pair of Joy-Con Maracas accessories, which you can find on Amazon. Trust me, they'll really enhance the experience. The game is available on Nintendo Switch and Apple Arcade, and not to mention there's also a VR version for MetaQuest called Samba de Amigo Virtual Party, which looks wicked awesome and I really want to try it. But unfortunately, I don't have a Quest headset. Hopefully it'll be ported to PSVR 2 someday, so I can actually play it.
Number 3.
Hot Wheels Rift Rally. Believe it or not, there were actually 2 Hot Wheels games released earlier this year, the more well-known and popular of the 2 being Unleashed 2. However, while that game receives all the praise and glory, but in its shadow, there's another, much better Hot Wheels game in my opinion that hasn't gotten nearly as much love or recognition, known as Rift Rally. If this style of gameplay looks at all familiar to you, it's because it was made by Velant Studios, the same developers of Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. And if you've been following my channel long enough, you already know how much I love that game. While Mario Kart Live has sadly kind of been abandoned by Nintendo, but on the bright side, it has gotten a spiritual sequel and or successor in the form of Hot Wheels Rift Rally. As you could tell, this game takes the same ARRC car racing formula as Mario Kart Live and made it even better. Just like Mario Kart Live, you can create your own racetracks and essentially turn your own house into an awesome race course, or anywhere really. To say this game is criminally underrated would be an understatement.
Awesome.
This is one of the most underrated games of the whole year, and it's a shame how this game isn't getting nearly the amount of love or support or recognition it deserves. The game itself is available for free on PlayStation and iOS, though you do need to purchase the car pack separately to play it. But if you have the cash to spare, I'd say it's totally worth it.
Number 2.
Number 2, Ion Fury Aftershock. I'm not sure if this is considered cheating or not, since this is actually a DLC expansion for a game that came out in 2018, but I'd say it definitely deserves this spot on the list. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ion Fury, it's basically one of the greatest first-person shooter games of all time. It's a retro throwback to 90s classics FPS games, and it was made on the Build engine, the same engine as timeless classics like Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, and Blood. To say this game being built on a 28-year-old engine is impressive would be an understatement. Not only does this game shine as pixel perfection, but I'd say it even looks good by modern game standards. If you haven't already experienced this masterpiece of a game, then do yourself a favor and play it. In fact, if the game wasn't already awesome enough, the new DLC Aftershock amps it up to a whole new level as it somehow manages to be even better than the base game. This DLC has been stuck in development hell for almost 3 years, but it was well worth the wait. Honestly, I don't think I can find the right words to describe how insanely fun this game is. With its smooth flow, fast-paced run-and-gun action, its punishing difficulty that really gets the adrenaline rushing, plus our hardcore heroine Shelly Bombshell Harrison is just as badass as ever, and she's got a whole new set of toys to play with, from new guns to a frickin' awesome hover bike. Honestly, to sum up everything great about this game would be virtually impossible, and the only way to know just how truly good it feels is to play it for yourself. Not to mention, I also played a demo for the new upcoming sequel, Phantom Fury, which looks pretty promising so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing the full game soon as well. Now, before we get to my number 1 pick, here's a handful of honorable mentions. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, Metroid Prime Remastered, Hogwarts Legacy, My Friendly Neighborhood, Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition, Ragnarok for PSVR 2, and Duke Nukem Remastered Collections 1 and 2 for the Evercade. These games might not have made the top 10, but I still enjoyed them and think they're all worth mentioning and checking out to say the least. Anyway, on to my number 1 pick.
Okay, here we go.
Number 1.
What's it gonna be?
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil
Yeah.
4 Remake.
This game hardly needs any introduction. Resident Evil 4 was one of my top 2 most anticipated games of this year, and to say it exceeded my expectations would be an understatement. This is easily the best game in the entire Resident Evil franchise, hands down. Heck, the original Resident Evil 4 was already considered by many to be the best game in the franchise for nearly 19 years, and now Capcom just took the best game and made it even better. For years, I've been debating on which game is the best for newcomers to Resident Evil. Like, if I had had to recommend just one game, which would it be? At first I was thinking the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is mind-blowingly good, although Village is also quite a blast, and 3 and 7 are decent games for newcomers as well. But now that the 4th remake is here, there's no more need for debating. This is the best game for newcomers and hardcore fans alike. If you've never played a Resident Evil game before and had to pick only one game, this is the one. You don't need to worry about following the story or what happened in previous games, because Resident Evil 4 just sums it all up at the beginning, and then it starts on a fresh, clean slate, an all-new chapter with a whole new story. Kinda like Shantae Half Genie Hero, which is mainly why I consider both these games to be the best for newcomers to this series. Anyway, this game is far more than just a remake. Not only does it have enough new content and differences from the original to stand out as its own game, but it encompasses pretty much everything great about Resident Evil as a whole, with a perfect balance of both action and horror elements and so much more. On another note, one thing from the original I was hoping they'd change in the remake and was pleased to see that they did, was Ashley Graham, whose character was vastly improved, going from a dumb, annoying brat you don't want to bother protecting and wish would just die, to a much more human and interesting character who's gone through enough traumatic crap that you actually grow to care about Ashley and want to protect her. Not to mention, one thing I find kind of weirdly fascinating and ironic is that despite Ashley's new redesign being a lot less blatantly sexualized than the old Ashley, it seemed to make her even more attractive, which is kind of a consistent pattern in Resident Evil remakes. The only thing cooler than Ashley's new glow-up and personality is when her body model, Peach Milky, basically brought Ashley to life by cosplaying as her while playing Resident Evil 4 on stream. It feels kind of uncanny to see the in-game and IRL Ashley side by side. I highly recommend watching her Let's Play. It's both awesome and hilarious. The only thing that makes this masterpiece of a game even more awesome than it already is the addition of the new VR mode recently added as free DLC, and boy did I have a blast playing it on PSVR 2. So, is this my game of the year? Well, that was actually an extremely difficult decision between this game and another game I'm sure you're all familiar with, which would be Number 0!
0?
That's right, I'm cheating.
Alright, let's see what we got, yeah.
The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah,
sometimes I do
didn't
that.
think I'd forget about this game, did you? Even if you're not a Zelda fan, there's a good chance you'll still enjoy this game, as it is arguably the best game on the Nintendo Switch as of now and a must-have for any Switch owner. Now, if you've already sunk a lot of hours into Breath of the Wild, well then get ready for an even longer journey, as Tears of the Kingdom is basically twice the size of Breath of the Wild. Sure, the world map layout is mostly the same with some changes here and there, but there's literally a whole other world deep beneath the surface world that sort of mirrors it, as well as many floating islands and structures high up in the sky. So
really
much
beautiful.
to explore, so many things to do, and so many ways you can let your imagination run wild and freely with all the crazy creative stuff you can build. And of course, many returning characters we all know and love, some of which have gotten quite a glow upgrade since the first game, as well as many new characters who are all instantly memorable. Honestly, I don't think I could find the right words to sum up everything great about this game, but I don't think I really need to. I say the game's gorgeous visuals and presentation speaks for itself. Plus, I don't want to spoil the story for anyone who hasn't played it. I want you all to have a chance to experience this amazing game for yourself. So, those were my personal top 10 favorite games of 2023. On an additional note, sadly, I didn't get a chance to play Super Mario RPG by the time I finished making this list, but I did just get it for Christmas, so I'll be playing it soon enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Will games in 2024 be able to top this year's lineup? Doubtful, but I guess we'll just have to see what the future holds for now.
I love a good top list, and that was really good. I really do like these sort of videos. You know, the top ones, especially when it comes to my good pal, your favorite Canadian YouTubers. Thoughts on games. I really wish I got around to putting this somewhere around like in January or something, but better later than never. Am I right, guys? But I did enjoy that. That was actually very informative, very interesting, and very, very, very good. That was freaking awesome. So, if there's anything you guys want me to react to, just leave in the comments below and I'll get to the video as soon as I can. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.